We've seen quite a step change in the amount of work we've been doing on environment over the last year or so. We've greatly increased the number of green reps, increased our training significantly, and we think that's because it has a resonance amongst particularly some people who may not be involved generally in the union. It's a way of bringing those people on.
Those institutions where there is someone in post, they're clearly starting to make a big contribution towards raising members' awareness and making sure that the policies that their institutions have on paper actually start getting put into practice.
We are hopeful about taking forward the argument about the need for green jobs in both sectors, further and higher education, because it's a crucial role to play. And at the workplace, ever and ever, it's an increasing way of getting our reps engaged in what is a vital issue and a good alternative to the present cutbacks that are taking place.
We're starting a project in January 2011, which is a 2-year project, and that's being funded through the Battersea and Wandsworth TUC trading arm, and that's been put together with a view to making sure we got the capacity within the union to really make a contribution to the green jobs, green and decent jobs agenda that we see as a priority in the union.
When I was thinking about how I meaningfully become involved in the unions, I thought about, I touched on the green stuff, and it really struck me as the most profoundly political challenge actually that faces trades unions now. And I liked the way that UCU had something very specific to say about political change and raising awareness around something as important as this. So it felt really sort of politically very interesting, but also practically something that we can actually do.
I've always been interested in environmental issues ever since I was a lot younger in the 70s, and the issue of global warming first came up, and I've been very committed to recycling and reusing. I think they've got a long way to go, and it's something that needs to be pushed everywhere. So when the opportunity came up to do it through the union at work, I thought, that's something that fits in with what I like to be interested in, what I like to act on.
We felt that there was a need to be more green within the college, and it seems as well that in FE colleges we're a little bit behind where primary and secondary education and universities are with sort of greening the community and sort of the workplace. And so at the end of last year we decided that we wanted to have a green group within the college. This is before we'd heard about UCU green reps. So a group of us met up, we signed up to the 10-10 agreement as a college, and then heard through the UCU that they were trying to encourage people to become green reps. So we thought, as we were in the group already and we were members of the union, that we'd take that on.
My experience of trade union education is that it really tackles this issue of how do you get people to be empowered enough to make changes for themselves, which is the key problem that the university has. It produces lots of policies and ideas, but actually nobody's ever heard of it, and they don't know how to influence behaviour. And trades unions are brilliant at that, particularly educators, teachers, of course.
We've already got legislation that enforces health and safety. That similar legislation needs to be enacted really to enforce the idea that someone's committed to furthering the green agenda as well.
It's actually something that is beneficial to the management because, so from several different angles, they have to be engaging with it, and so the more assistance that they can get from staff, the better.
We've been working with property services in the college. There was a green audit that we're working with them to do to kind of find out what we do already and what we could do in the future.
What I'm hoping to do, one major thing, is to install some, to put pressure on people to install some proper recycling bins, something which has some substance and some presence rather than an ad hoc cardboard box here and there. And I think there's a lot to be done in terms of actually putting it into policies so that management supports the actual ideas.
We organised a campaign very quickly just before Copenhagen to just try and get students and staff to say what they thought needed to be changed. And one of the things that became very clear was that there was no real sort of like physical campaign for people to engage with in a natural way. So not everybody, unfortunately, is a trade union member. Not every student is really interested in student politics. So I made the request that the business school actually dug up the front green and turned it into an allotment. And initially they were really quite rude about it, but we gave out 1,000 packets of seeds during the campaign week and said, put pressure on the university, grow this stuff at home and then bring it and we'll plant it in the allotment. And actually a few weeks ago we finally got installed our allotment, which is beautiful. And it's just a really nice way of getting people to sort of have contact between staff and students, different departments, and just start to think about the environment in which we're in.
Up to now, we've done staff awareness training session, and then we had a Green Week in one of our centres. Because we work in different centres across the city, we chose one centre in May this year, and we had a Green Week. So in all the curriculum areas, we asked the staff to think about how they could invest in green issues. And then we also put events on at lunchtime, so we had Friends of the Earth in one lunchtime. We had making musical instruments out of recycling materials, cardboard box guitars, one lunchtime, and that was very successful. So this year in Adult Learners Week, which is in May, we're going to do the themed week across all our centres and possibly to engage the wider community.
With possibilities of new buildings, refurbishments, and a lot of opportunities really there for adding insulation, making things more sensitive. Also, as regards where the college sites, its learning environment and the actual travel costs that are involved with that, I don't think have really been thought through. Or rather they've probably been considered, but they need to have that proper importance given to them so that there's a choice of public transport and facilities for cycling and walking to work rather than actually using all the cars all the time.
The second thing that we've done is set up a Greening the Curriculum group, initially just in the business school. And we've linked to environmentalists, so the occupational health and the environmental people. And we're now developing just sort of mainstreaming materials really about how do you introduce the issue of climate change into a business school context, so that by the end of next year, hopefully, every single course that we teach in the business school will have some reference and aspect or activity around climate change and the environment.
Building awareness of sustainability and environmental issues into the courses that we do already, just to make people more aware of things in terms of the way they live their lives, and also looking at, obviously there are cuts going on in education at the moment, and in some ways it's quite a depressing time for people, but it's actually a sort of growth area, the sort of green skills and green jobs. So it's important that in education we look at how we're going to provide people with courses with education so that they can get these green skills.
The next sort of campaign is going to be to bring all the things that we're doing together into having a forum. We have several groups, but we don't have one forum which is management and union that's looking at this. It's being looked at in a number of different groups, and I think it's important now probably to campaign to get a green forum specifically on that topic. Will be our next challenge.
I can see that this is a time when there's a lot of arguments against incorporating environmentally sensitive measures into things. We have this background of people saying cuts need to be made in everything, here and there and everywhere. And so I think it's doubly important that we put this at as one of the priorities, because it's not got the sort of importance that people give to the economic side of things. A big danger that they're going to slide towards just making a profit at the expense of the planet, really.